Ladies and gentlemen, today I want you to imagine something powerful, the life you truly desire, the health, the wealth, the love, the freedom. It's already waiting for you. But here's the truth. Most people live every single day reacting instead of creating. They settle, they tolerate, they accept limits that were never theirs to begin with. Change doesn't happen because you wish for it. Change happens when you decide to raise your standards, when you say, enough is enough. I will no longer live below what I'm capable of. The life you want isn't somewhere out there. It starts right here, right now, inside you. Every day, your mind is planting seeds. Some seeds grow into excuses, fear, and doubt. Others grow into courage, strength, and unstoppable drive. What you water will grow. So, if you want to change your life, you must change your focus. Success, fulfillment, happiness, they don't come by chance. They come by decision. They come by training your mind and body every single day. It's about conditioning yourself just like a muscle. You don't go to the gym once and expect to be strong forever. You train consistently and life works the same way. Ask yourself, what story am I telling myself? If you keep saying, I'm not enough, I don't have the time, I can't do it, then that becomes your reality. But the moment you choose a new story, I am powerful, I am capable, I am unstoppable, you'll see your life transform. You are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are the results of the decisions you make today. Every moment is a chance to claim back your power and create the life you deserve. So stand tall, take control, speak life into your dreams. Do not wait for permission. Do not wait for the perfect time, because the perfect time is now. Listen to this every day, feed your mind with power, and you will see your world shift, change your habits, change your story, change your life. The first step to transforming your life begins with a decision, a firm declaration that you will no longer accept anything less than what you are truly capable of. Every person has a standard, whether they realize it or not. Some people's standard is simply to survive, to just get by, to make it through another day. Others demand excellence from themselves, and because of that demand, they achieve extraordinary results. The difference isn't luck, it isn't talent, it isn't circumstances, it is the standard they set for themselves. When you raise your standards, you change everything. You stop negotiating with excuses, you stop tolerating habits that keep you stuck, and you start requiring more from yourself. This shift creates a new identity. You go from saying, I should, to saying, I must. And that single change turns dreams into reality. Think about it. Every breakthrough in history, every invention, every great achievement came because someone raised their standards. They refused to settle for what was handed to them and decided to demand more. The same principle applies to your personal life. If your standard for your health is average, you will always accept fatigue, poor energy, and excuses. But if you decide your standard is vibrant energy, strength, and vitality, you will find a way to fuel your body, train it, and live with power. If your standard in relationships is just not being alone, then you'll accept toxic connections. But if your standard is love, growth, passion, and respect, you won't settle until you have it. Raising your standards is not about perfection. It's about raising the bar so high that your old excuses no longer make sense. It's about setting a new baseline for what is acceptable in your life. Once you decide what you will no longer tolerate, your actions, your mindset, and your habits begin to align with that vision. You'll find yourself making choices you never thought possible because your identity has shifted. The truth is, life gives us exactly what we are willing to tolerate. If you tolerate mediocrity, you will live in mediocrity. But if you demand greatness from yourself, if you hold yourself to a higher standard, then your life begins to rise to meet it. That's where transformation begins, and that's where you discover the power to change everything. What you choose to focus on every single day shapes the direction of your entire life. Focus is like a magnifying glass. It takes the energy of the sun, which is spread out across the world, and concentrates it into a beam strong enough to start a fire. The same is true for your mind. When your focus is scattered on fear, doubt, and problems, you weaken yourself. But when you direct it with intensity and clarity toward growth, courage, and solutions, you ignite an unstoppable fire within you. Most people spend their days focusing on what they can't control, what's missing, or what might go wrong. That kind of focus drains your energy and creates a life filled with frustration. But those who shift their focus to what they can control, to the opportunities right in front of them, and to the vision they're building, suddenly find themselves with more strength, confidence, and momentum than they ever imagined. It's not that challenges disappear when you change your focus. It's that you stop giving them the power to define you. The human brain is wired to look for danger, to scan for problems, to protect us. But if you allow that wiring to dominate your thinking, you'll live in a constant state of fear. The real power comes when you train yourself daily to focus on possibility. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow through this? What's the opportunity hidden in this obstacle? These questions shift your focus from limitation to expansion, and where focus goes, energy flows. When you consciously choose your focus, You begin to change your emotions, and your emotions drive your decisions. Imagine waking up each day and focusing on gratitude, on strength, on the things that empower you. That energy flows into the way you speak, the way you move, the way you take action. People feel opportunities are attracted to it, and your life begins to reflect it. The truth is, your focus is your compass. If you keep it locked on fear, you'll head straight into limitations. But if you keep it locked on courage and growth, your life will expand in ways you never thought possible. Every single day is a chance to direct your focus toward the life you want, and when you do, reality has no choice but to follow. Just like your body needs consistent training to stay strong, your mind needs daily conditioning to remain powerful and focused. You can't go to the gym once, lift a few weights, and expect to stay fit for the rest of your life. In the same way, you cannot read one book, attend one seminar, or listen to one inspiring message and expect permanent change. Growth is the result of repetition of small actions performed over and over until they become part of your identity. Conditioning your mind is about building patterns of thought that serve you instead of sabotage you. Every single day, you are programming your brain with what you watch, what you listen to, and what you say to yourself. If you feed it negativity, doubt, and fear, it becomes weak. But if you feed it empowering thoughts, uplifting messages, and bold visions of the future, it becomes unstoppable. Discipline in this area is everything. The most successful people in the world are not free from negative emotions. They simply train their minds every day to overcome them. They don't wait until they feel motivated. They create motivation by developing rituals that keep them in peak state, whether it's morning affirmations, meditation, journaling, exercise, or listening to empowering content. These daily practices condition the mind to see opportunities where others only see obstacles. And just like strengthening a muscle, the more you practice, the stronger you get. Imagine the power of starting each day by programming your mind with empowering beliefs. Instead of letting fear or doubt dictate your morning, you declare who you are, what you stand for, and what you will achieve. Over time, these declarations shift from words into beliefs, and those beliefs guide your actions. You begin to notice a difference in how you respond to challenges. Things that once overwhelmed you become manageable because your mind is conditioned for strength, not weakness. Consistency is the secret. Skipping a day here or there seems harmless, but the mind, just like the body, weakens quickly without training. The choice is simple. Either you condition your mind or the world conditions it for you. And if the world conditions it, it will be filled with fear, distractions, and doubt. By committing to daily mental conditioning, you take control of your destiny, ensuring that every thought and action moves you closer to the life you truly want. The stories you tell yourself determine the quality of your life. Every person carries a narrative running silently in the background of their mind, and that narrative shapes their actions, their choices, and ultimately their destiny. If your story is filled with limitation, excuses, and reasons why you can't succeed, then your life will continue to reflect those beliefs. But the moment you rewrite your story into one of strength, courage, and possibility, you begin to step into a new reality. The power lies in realizing that you are not bound to the script you've been carrying. You can choose to change the narrative at any moment, and when you do, you change the direction of your life. So many people say to themselves, I've always been like this, or this is just who I am, without realizing those are simply stories they've repeated so often that they've come to believe them. But they are not facts. They are not absolute truths. They are interpretations shaped by experiences and reinforced by repetition. If your story says you are unlucky, you will ignore opportunities right in front of you. If your story says you're not enough, you'll sabotage success whenever it comes close. But if your story says you are capable, resourceful, and worthy, then you will rise to meet challenges with courage instead of shrinking back in fear. Rewriting your story begins with awareness. Notice the language you use when you describe yourself or your situation. Words carry energy, and if your words are filled with negativity and limitation, your mind will adopt those beliefs as reality. Replace them with empowering language, and you will start to feel the shift. Instead of saying, I can't do this, say, I'm learning to master this. Instead of saying, I've failed too many times, say, every setback is shaping my comeback. These changes may seem small, but over time they build a new identity and a new destiny. The most powerful transformation happens when you stop living as the character in a story you didn't write and start becoming the author of your own life. When you take control of your narrative, you stop being a victim of circumstance and step into the role of creator. That new story becomes the fuel that drives your actions, and those actions create the extraordinary results you've been searching for. Your past does not equal your future unless you choose to keep living there. Too many people drag the weight of their past mistakes, failures, and disappointments into the present, allowing old wounds to dictate new opportunities. They define themselves by what went wrong, by the times they fell short, or by the labels others placed on them. But the truth is, your past is nothing more than a set of lessons. It was there to shape you, not to chain you. The fact that you're still here, breathing, means you have already overcome every single challenge that once felt impossible. That alone proves you have the strength to move beyond anything that once tried to break you. Think about it. Everyone has moments they wish they could rewrite, but replaying those moments again and again only locks you into a prison of regret. The only power the past holds is the power you give it through your attention. When you finally decide to stop feeding it, to stop reliving it, you open space for a future that is bigger and brighter than you've ever imagined. Every new day is a blank page, and it's up to you to decide whether you'll keep copying yesterday's story or write a new one. Greatness is born the moment you separate your identity from your history. You are not the person who failed, who was rejected, or who was hurt. You are the person who got back up, who kept moving, who chose to grow. That shift in perspective is everything. Life will always have setbacks, but those setbacks are setups for comebacks if you choose to see them that way. When you believe your past defines you, you hand over your power. But when you realize your decisions today define who you are, you take that power back. Each choice you make right now has more influence on your future than every mistake combined. You can't control what has already happened, but you can absolutely control what you do from this moment forward. The future doesn't ask who you were. It only responds to who you decide to be now. And the moment you let go of the weight of your past, you rise into the freedom of creating a future on your own terms. Waiting for the perfect moment is one of the greatest illusions that keeps people trapped in the same place year after year. People say, I'll start when I feel ready, when I have more money, when I have more time, when the circumstances are better. But that moment never truly arrives. Life does not reward those who wait, it rewards those who act. The reality is clarity doesn't come before action, it comes because of action. Each step you take, no matter how small, creates momentum, and that momentum reveals the path forward. Sitting on the sidelines, planning endlessly, and waiting for the right conditions only leads to frustration and wasted potential. The only moment you can control is now, and the only time you can create change is now. Taking massive action doesn't mean you have to have it all figured out. It means you commit fully, you give everything you have, and you adjust as you go. Success is rarely a straight line. It is built through trial, error, and constant course correction. But you can't correct a path you never start walking. By acting now, you put yourself in motion, and motion is the fuel of progress. Think about it. A ship that never leaves the harbor will never discover new horizons. The same is true for your life. You'll never know your true capacity if you don't move. Action also kills fear. Fear grows in silence and hesitation, but the moment you step forward, even with uncertainty, you weaken its grip. Each bold action builds confidence, and that confidence leads to even greater actions. Over time, the courage that once felt impossible becomes your new normal. The key is to stop asking, what if I fail? And start asking, what if I succeed? Because failure is simply feedback, but inaction is guaranteed regret. There will never be a perfect time, but there will always be the present moment. That's your gift, your chance, your opportunity to rewrite your story and create the life you deserve. The people who change their lives don't wait for doors to open. They kick them down. They don't wait for permission. They claim it. And they don't wait for the stars to align. They move forward and align them through action. The moment you stop waiting and start acting, your life begins to transform before your very eyes. In the end, everything we've talked about comes down to one truth. You already hold the power to create the life you've been dreaming of. It's not outside of you. It's not waiting for someone else to give it to you. It's already inside, waiting for you to claim it. The standards you set, the focus you choose, the conditioning you practice, the story you tell yourself, the freedom you give from your past, and the action you take today, these are the tools that shape your destiny. Life doesn't change when you wish for it. Life changes when you demand it, when you stand up and say, this is who I am, this is what I deserve, and this is what I will create. Every single day you have the chance to rise, to grow, to move forward. And the more you step into that power, the more your life expands in ways you never imagined possible. So as you walk away from this moment, don't just listen and feel inspired for a few minutes. Make the decision to live it, breathe it, and act on it. Feed your mind with strength, push your body with energy, and lead your life with purpose. Because the world doesn't need more people who settle. The world needs you at your best. The world needs your fire, your courage, your gifts. Thank you for giving your time, your attention, and your heart today. I appreciate you for being here, for choosing growth, and for believing in something greater for yourself. Carry this energy with you, share it with others, and keep reminding yourself every day that you are capable of more than you know. Until we meet again, stay strong, stay focused, and never stop becoming the best version of yourself. Goodbye, and thank you.